What up, everyone? I'm running a little late, like 2 or 3 minutes late. I usually leave the house around 7:15. Today I left around 7:20. I usually get there on time, but I hate doing this because it always stresses me out. You never know what the road conditions are going to be like. I don't live very far from where I work, but I know they're doing a bunch of construction out here because they're always building new houses. A lot of people are moving into this area, so hopefully the construction guys won't be out here stopping the road. So usually on the way to work, I have about 15 minutes, and that 15 minutes I like to think about what I'm going to be doing with my lesson, like really focus on it, because I kind of know what the big idea that I want to get across to my students, and like the sequence of things that's going to happen. But what I like to do on the way to work is actually think about the process of, like, you know, transitioning from one thing to the other thing, important messages that I want to make sure that I hit during my lesson, and also like why I'm doing the thing I'm doing, because sometimes I just kind of just go through the motions after I have a lesson plan down, but sometimes I forget the why, the reason why I'm doing that lesson. Like I'll really think about it while I'm creating the lesson plan, but then during the delivery it just kind of goes on autopilot. So I like to kind of reflect on why I'm doing the thing I'm doing, and like that really helps like sell the lesson to the students. All right, we're here. I'm just getting my stuff, and then gonna start heading to work. It feels so weird carrying the camera around. I haven't done it at school yet, so this is gonna be a weird experience, but sometimes it gotta be weird. Take the back way because all the students are in the front area, so this is the best way to kind of get to the class, and it's like a secret entrance. Hey, good morning, how are you?
Good, how are you?
This supposed to keep the store closed, man. What's going on? There's a bunch of classrooms going back way. Art, band. This is kind of like the multi-purpose pod area. What's happening, guys? They do like a bunch of like maker spaces and computer stuff right here. It's pretty cool. So I'm gonna take you guys with me so you can meet my arch nemesis. There it is. This thing has ruined many lesson plans for me. What's up, Lori?
Oh my goodness, you got a new toy?
This is Lori Torton. She works with us. She's the department head. Say what's up, Lori.
Hello, how are ya?
She's the best.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. All right, check it out. Just got my paperwork that I couldn't, or prints that I couldn't get yesterday because the printer got jammed. But yeah, so let's head to my class. Show you guys some stuff. We still got 25 minutes until the kids come in. What's up, Patrick?
Hey, let's go.
Hey.
Is that?
Yeah, say what you guys want to say. What's up?
Hi.
Hi. Hey, was that your favorite teacher last year?
Yep. Yeah.
All right. Sorry, just heading up. You guys already know. The staircase. This is cool because last year we had students blocking up the staircase, but this year we put up these cool things going up, going down. So that's awesome. I got a bunch of stuff to do before the kids get here. Today was like the first official day of my game. I introduced the concept to my students, and I also told them that I was going to put them into teams sometime next week. The reason why I didn't introduce my game to my students until now, it's already been like 4 days of school, is because, you know, a lot of the time the students get moved around the first couple of weeks of school, and I think that process is still going to be happening. And also my students really didn't have their Chromebooks until like yesterday, and I needed them to use the Chromebooks to take a test for me, like 2 personality tests that I'm gonna use in order to put them into my teams in my classroom. So in the beginning of the year, it's really hard to like figure out like how your students are, like their personality, how they will be in a team. And since my classroom, they're gonna be in their teams for the whole year, and they're gonna be doing a lot of activities together, a lot of learning is gonna be happening in teams collaboratively. I think it's really important to find like a good mesh of students that will be able to work together well. So I did 3 things that I think will help me now be able to put them into teams next week. And the first thing I did was in the beginning of the year, the first day of school, I had them write a letter telling me some details about their lives and who they are as people. And I'll be using that, I'll be reading that over the weekend to try to figure out like what some of these kids are. The second thing I did was I had them take a personality test, the 16 personality test, and I had them kind of fill out this form to indicate what personality type they were after they took the test. This third thing was I had them take the Bartel player type test. I'll link to all these tests in the description, so if you guys want to administer them or take them yourself, it's pretty interesting. And we're using those 3 pieces of information, like their personal letter, the personality type, and Mr. Yu? Oh, no problem. Bye-bye. So using those 3 pieces of information, the Bartel test, the personality test, and the letter, I'll be able to have a better chance in order to put them into a team that's going to work for them for the whole year. Yeah, so I think it's a tricky process. I hope it kind of works out. I'll let you guys know what's going on as we progress more into it. This is all new for me because I've never put students in a team for a whole year. I've done it like, you know, like a short-term project and a long-term project, but not anything for a whole entire year. Yeah.
I got 80% achiever.
Achiever? Okay.
67% killer, 40% explorer, and 13% social.
So I guess I'm feeling two separate feelings about how today went, and also about like this whole project in general. Like first, I'm feeling really excited because this is something that I've been wanting to do ever since ever since when I was in UCSB and I first realized I wanted to be a teacher, because I knew I wanted to turn my classroom into a video game, like a Dungeons and Dragons type game. And like, I guess today's like the first step in like actually implementing that thing, and it's really scary because it's been something I've been putting off because I've just been too scared to like take the first steps towards it. So actually doing it like this, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna put it all out there. And another thing is I want to show you guys what I'm doing too, which is also like another scary thing, because you don't know what people are gonna think about, you know, me taking a risk like this. Yeah, and like just being like really vulnerable with my project and like how I teach and how my students will be learning. And you know, I put a lot of like thinking and time and money and effort and like a lot of emotions into this project. So if it doesn't work out well, then I almost feel like I would be a failure. And it's not the best thing. But I guess if you're being a creative person, if you're, you know, going towards your dreams, those are some things that you just kind of have to face. And I'm just glad I've like got this big thing out of the way by just like announcing it and actually like implementing and telling the students that it's actually going down, and not just planning for it and not just designing a bunch of systems for it, not just buying the equipment, not just actually doing something towards implementation was really scary. And I'm just glad I was able to do it. At the same time that it makes me really scared, I'm really excited because I know the possibilities of gamification. I know what it's going to be able to do. I know like school is so boring, and it's like a huge project and a huge problem that we haven't been able to solve it. And I think doing school this way will have a huge impact on these students' lives moving forward. I think a lot of them will choose to go into sciences because of the experience that they have in my class, and like the impact that, you know, their classmates and this experience of playing this game will have on them. And that's an exciting thing to think about. And another exciting thing is like maybe I can show people how it can work in my classroom, and people will be able to take those ideas and implement them in their classroom, and this whole thing will spread, and this will become like the new way that we teach science, and this will be the new way that we teach students. Yeah, it's an exciting project, so I'm pretty excited to share it, but I'm also feeling vulnerable about sharing this information and showing. Yeah, up until right now, this is like my life's work, I guess. I'm kind of feeling vulnerable sharing with you guys, but I think you guys will enjoy it, and I know people will learn from seeing this, and even if they don't, I know I will learn a lot from doing this. So, hey Rebecca.
Hi.
How you doing today?
Good.
Hey Jason.
Hello.
How you doing today?
Good.
Remember things because you can draw them down.
So it's the first week of school, and for the last 4 days I've been giving my students directions on how to complete some types of assignments for my class. So at the beginning of the week we read an article, like it was a very simple article about snake venom, because I thought it would be kind of interesting idea to that they would want to learn about. And after we read that article, I gave them 3 different assignments for using that article, and the focus was not really like learning about snake venom or like how snakes use poisons, but it was to like understand how to do this type of assignment. So I used this one article to teach 3 different types of assignments that I'll be using in my class throughout the year. And the plan is I'm gonna introduce 1 more type of assignment every week, and I'm gonna be using that snake article to or snake venom article to like introduce it, and also like use that snake venom article to like as like the content to carry out an assignment. And the purpose is not to teach them about snake venom, but to how to complete that assignment the way I want them to complete that assignment. And another thing that I thought I would do is I would actually take the assignments that I'll be giving to my students, the procedures, the exact specific directions with my expectations and how to like complete it well, and I would put that on my YouTube channel, and that way if they get lost or if they forget or if they're not here for that day, they can just go back and look at those directions and know exactly how to do that particular type of assignment. So that's the plan. That's kind of what we worked on. So the 3 assignments that we did was how to do marking the text, which is a type of avid strategy or just like reading strategy that really helps students analyze what they're reading. The second thing that we did was Cornell notes, which is another avid strategy that the school really wants us to use in all of our classes, so the students kind of have like this consistent way of taking notes and remembering things. And the last thing was something that I love doing, which was doing a sketch notes. This is something that I'm really excited about, and it's one of my favorite parts about teaching science. I'm gonna do a whole new video, or a whole other video on sketch notes itself, so if you guys want to check that out, I'll put a link on the description below. When I actually release the Choose Your Own Adventure game, I need to have them to be able to do different things independently. So I need to teach these skills to them and not just expect them to do it once I give them the directions. So that's the reason why I'm spending a lot of time on teaching these assignments up front without having like a huge content burden for them to learn too. So the snake article is pretty easy. It's like 3 pages and it's really basic stuff. And since we're going to be using that snake document over and over and over again, it'll kind of help my students focus on how to complete it and how to do the assignment rather than the thing that they read about. So that'll be pretty interesting. So I'm gonna kind of rely on that snake venom article throughout the year to teach them assignments, and hopefully I'll have like 20 to 30 assignments by the end of the year that my students have like learned how to do and they can do well, and I can use those 20 to 30 assignments to teach the content. And another thing that's really exciting, I feel like, is since the idea is like after the students have learned those 20 to 30 assignments and they can do them well, then they can go ahead and independently learn certain things or work in groups to learn certain things, and then I can go in and help those students that are kind of struggling with the content using different types of interventions. So that's the idea, and I think this is a good way to do it because you're building like a list of skills that students are able to do. So with the Cornell notes, you're teaching them how to summarize, how to take information and memorize it. With the sketch notes, you're teaching them how to internalize information and go from words to pictures, which requires processing and like learning that information before you're able to do it, and really understanding that information before you're able to do it. And with marking the text, you're teaching them to really look at details and be specific and yeah, to be critical in the way you're reading. So yeah, all these different assignments that I'll be pushing out to my students has a specific purpose and a specific skill that they need to be leveling up like throughout the year. So I think that's a pretty cool thing, and hopefully I'll be able to share more of what I'm doing through those assignments with you guys, and I'll also be able to put the directions on my YouTube channel on a playlist. So if you guys ever want to use those types of assignments, you can just give those to the students, your students, and they'll be able to do them too with a little bit of guidance from you guys. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. This is day number 4 or 5 or something. I don't know, 5 or something of the first week of school. So it's a Friday. I'm excited for the weekend. I got a lot of plans. That I need to execute, and some videos I need to make, and also, just hang out with my kid and family and stuff. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.